I'm busy, this life works out a lot better. And we're busy with some League of Legends. Let's hope the Corki doesn't get picked this time around.
I take that bet that I think perhaps Corki will be removed from this pick and ban, but we've got 5 new players, so what madness could Tana, Maorang, Chongo, Stitch, and Kellen bring us? If you're watching the VODs and you skipped out on the pre-pick and ban stuff, Jin have changed everyone. Everyone has changed. This has happened a handful of times. Humble Life did it last year with Humble Life B and A. There was one time before that, I want to say maybe Longzhu, because of course 10-man rosters wasn't that common for a long time. I think maybe Longzhu did it in 2016. Could be wrong on that. So a lot of things change. Zooming into the pick and ban in this particular game, Kingzone actually banning out both sides of the Lissandra and Zoe matchup. The Rise also gets in there with those two, so the mid lane champion pool is actually the dregs of it for the first time in kind of memory.
Does that mean we'll see Corki return? Does feel like it's a kind of response into Lissandra a lot of the time, but we'll see how highly they just rate it in general and what will be the final ban. I was expecting Vlad, but Kingzone going to call off the bluff. Let's see if Jin actually opt into a type of Vlad comp, or maybe just go for the Jace instead.
Jace is strong, but Jace macro, like we outlined, is kind of the difference when Urgot first pick was replaced by Jace first pick. We said, but Urgot wins lane and is a team fighter. Jace, a lot of things, but a team fighter very rarely. So Tana, at least going to have a nice ability to puff out his chest on the Jace in most matchups, so that part at least feels good. I've been a bit sad that Lucian has been available to be picked by Kingzone, because it means that I don't get to see Jinx or Vayne from your boy Deft, so that's very sad. He'll be on Lucian duty. I guess it could be Lucian top against Jace. It could happen, but expecting this to be an AD carry pick for Deft.
Yeah, just kind of going with the standard. If the Lucian is left available, you always kind of want to pick that one up. It's our highest presence champion in the LCK by far. I think it's over 20%, as Cuz just going to go back onto the Gragas. Can't blame him for that.
Now, what we want to see from Jinair is an AP jungler in the first round. The reason why I say that is that Chongo is most famous for his Zed. He is a Zed player. So, we need our first Zed, and we need it soon, Valdez. I am excited for a Zed at some point. We're not going to see it just yet, but at least, jungle and mid lane have not been selected yet for Jinair. So the chance it extends, it gives us something to be excited for.
There is a chance. They're just going to go with the...
Hey!
Okay.
And you know who Zed can lane into? I mean, this was not surprising.
Yasuo?
They literally had the Gragas there, and yes, he can lane into Yasuo. So, hope springs eternal that we will see a Zed on the side. And honestly, guys, you can go to bed for a bit if we don't see it. I'll let you guys off the leash until the second match
What
starts.
about our podcast?
I mean, it's their choice, right? Like, if you want to miss out on the podcast, that's up to you. That's your loss. But we're just giving options to our viewers. We will never force you to do anything, as Kingzone are forcing something. They are removing Aatrox from the champion pool. Maorang has played it in the jungle previously. They already have their jungler, unless we do see Tucson jump over to that Gragas, but I think it's Rakan time. Sadly, Jinna disagrees, it's already banned, so let's wait and see if we get an Alistair. Nope, that's banned too. Papa needs to read the ban.
You know, it also has great engage from a
Name
large,
it to me.
large distance
Yep.
that can knock up and do
Zed?
a lot of stuff.
Zed?
Zach. You were close with the Z, but yeah, I mean, Rakan's ban. I mean, the obvious choice is Zach support.
I'm getting more flashbacks now. But a ranged knock-up in an AoE, you don't think of the Thresh that much. Does have the ability to do that. Locking in the Thresh here. All right, give me the Zed. Come on, Jinair. Let's do it. Let's get in there.
Come on, Chungo. You've had a grin on your face the whole day.
There's way worse times to play Zed.
He knew it when he was eating breakfast this morning.
I guess it might be Jungle Jace from Maorang then. Okay, Jungle Jace, as far as we can tell. This does mean that we could see still the Zed. Can we please do it?
Zed or bed.
We're ready for this Zed.
Look at it. He's still
It's
smirking.
Zed time.
Oh.
It's not Jungle Jace even.
Guess it's mid Jace then.
So Marang is a really big jungle Jace player. He was the first person to play it in Pro Play in Korea. You'll remember this. A couple of years ago on Ever 8 Winners. They double debated us and didn't even give us a Zed. So we're very sad about Jin Air. Kingzone, look at this puzzled, and you'll remember that the pocket pick for top lane against the Jace has been Rascal running into the Camille, but has no access to it here, and it actually is the Lucian that we talked about way earlier. Look at that.
I feel like Rascal is just like, come on, coach, one time. Just let me do it one time.
Papa says top lane Lucian, and it actually happens.
Yeah.
I did one thing right, chat. Give it to me. Give me that love.
It's not the first time the League of Legends world responding to your touch at times.
That sounds really dodgy.
No, it doesn't.
I can't interact with theories like that,
think that way?
My mind's in the gutter, Valdez,
because my Zed is gone.
Zed is gone.
Tungo's playing mid-Ignite Cannon, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
That's a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
What a world we live in, Valdez. This is the world of Jin Air versus Kingzone. Game number 2. Zooming into the picks. Let's see if we actually got enough time for the AR to be in order, because there was a lot of swapsies going on. Jace top, not Jace jungle, sadly. Marang will be on the Lee Sin. And mid lane Cannon, definitely an acquired taste. Going back years, the biggest mid lane Cannon player that comes to mind is Hai. And Hai has been retired for a while now. So definitely not something I think of as a normal pick. However, you get your AP items and Yasuo chills in your ultimate, could blow up the usually squishy Yasuo. And will it be enough to deter Pawn from going for a high DPS build? If this was BDD, he'd still be going IE, but it might be Sterix time for Pawn.
We'll see what he wants to bring out here, jumping into game 2 now. The Jin Air chant was loud. The Kingzone one was louder. We're on the Kingzone side here, on the red side. And, well, they're coming in here. Of course, Kingzone would love to pick up a win and get the 2-0 even, as the game score always does matter for playoffs as well.
We'll notice that Kingzone are single damage profile. AP Gragas will do some AP damage, but mostly physical damage only. Usually that's relevant, but in the meta of the last year and a half or so, as Pawn plays a nice tune on his skin. He's using Dade's skin. He was also a big fan of this cowboy skin. In the old days, we had tanks, right? So it was always, well, they better win by 35 minutes, otherwise Mundo's going to have 3 armor items. There are no tanks on the side of Jin Air, so it turns out that actually you can get away with a no true magic damage threat just fine.
Seemed like the Korean casters were memeing the song as everybody let out a groan when he stopped playing it.
Can you play a mouth organ?
A what?
It's a mouth organ.
Is that really the name of that?
It's one of the words. I don't know if that's the only term, but it's a term. Yeah.
Isn't that just like a...
Well, it wasn't a flute.
A harmonica?
It might have been a harmonica. I think harmonica might be more specific than mouth organ. I thought mouth organ might be the umbrella term.
I didn't know there was an umbrella term, actually. What does that cover? Is that like harmonicas, flutes, and...
I don't know enough here, and I could just be spitting hot garbage. But I'm pretty sure it would be kind of the all the above, yes.
I mean, you could go pretty deep with that one, because you might just think, okay, maybe recorders and kazoos and harmonicas, maybe ocarinas, those are mouth organs. But what about like saxophones and trumpets and stuff like that? Are those also mouth organs?
So I stopped listening to your questions, started smiling when I was reminded of how cool a word kazoo is. What a fun word that's a serious word.
Yeah. It's a real one.
Can you play a kazoo, Valdez? You strike me as someone who could play a kazoo.
Can play a kazoo.
Can you play a kazoo well? Just say yes. Live.
Yes.
Thank you. Good to know, Valdez.
I have. Have you played a kazoo before?
No. I'd love to. Squad goals. Life goals.
How about a vuvuzela?
I've been around a vuvuzela being played, but no, I haven't played one myself.
Okay.
Another fun thing to say.
I've played both. They're both relatively easy.
How was the vuvuzela?
What? Is it Vuvuzela?
I believe that might be the correct pronunciation, but no one knew at the time when the World Cup happened. Speaking of not knowing things, Pawn has to flash.
Gets the stun down and the ignite as well. The flash in from Malrong is not good, as Pawn is going to be totally fine.
The flash there was super bold. If he had red smite and got 2 autos in, I think you get the kill, but it felt like he overrated his damage output there. And that's actually a full trade of summoners. Actually, overall, an extra one as bot lane. That was a very interesting looking hook, but Stitch will get away. Jinna tried to go and get a very strong 2v2 lane here with the Varus Tom Kench, but Def pushing in aggressively. Wants to get this lane going nice and early.
Cuz flexing once again, says hello. He's got double buff and full health compared to Malrong, who has no buffs as his red runs out.
Definitely a rich man, poor man scenario. But Chongo's rotating first. Pawn is interested in the minions. Doesn't matter. Another buff to Gragas.
3 buff by the Gragas. It happens when you're Lee Sin and you go for a very aggressive kind of play in the mid lane and you don't get anything out of it.
And also he flashed, right? So it's even more aggressive.
Yeah.
It's an early gank, and it's very common if you go for a cheese level 2 gank, you lose your buff on the other side of the map. As Hook once again will draw Devour, pot, kettle black situation going on there. But with the flash down, it's just so easy, right? There's not a lot of realistic ways to contest, so the rich get richer, and that's actually a doubling in farm early game for the Gragas.
Just cuz things. We'll see if he can continue with that one. Ward goes down, I believe that was Too Soon who just put it down. He's able to see exactly where the Lee Sin does go afterwards. Looks like the Gromp wasn't even taken by him up on the top side, kind of interestingly.
This is one of those games, Valdez, where actually they should know the respawn timer within a couple of seconds of every jungle camp from Mara. And that's on a champion that often will fall back into a level 6 playstyle. So there's actually an insane information advantage here because sometimes any of these Predator junglers, you fall a little bit behind compared to a more proactive jungle, and you just have to pop Predator to even like fake that you're a threat. But when you have this much of an information advantage, there's a lot of rope for Kingzone to potentially find some nice further punishment onto Malrong, and now they're going back mid.
Well, jungle doesn't have flash, and Predator Gragas is pretty good at this. First blood will go the way of Pawn already just before 6 minutes hits in game 2.
A lot of replay I can't confirm, but I believe he subverted the vision of the river ward there that was put down from Jesse. You nod your head. Probably is true. Rascal took this pretty bold choice of going Lucian into Jace, and he's getting hammer time.
Looks like he's going to flash away the culling, but that last auto from Tana is going to be able to dunk down Rascal after Rascal gets too aggressive.
And he goes for the creative counter, but gets solo killed by Jace. Not a good look for Rascal, as Cuz wants to interrupt the back. Amusingly will miss.
A close one there. Good try. Had he spotted him with that one and actually gotten the damage down, might have been worth it to go for that flash play.
And I just hope Generic get one more good feels moment and kind of get Kingzone out of the gear they're in. They're so in second gear this series. They're not trying to reveal anything. They're not focusing on the plays too much. And we get the confirmation. Thank you, observers. Listen to the global forecast today. Predator spot. And Chongo says, damn, wish I didn't flash.
We return up to here as Rascal says, well, I am the better player in the top lane, but then remembers he's fighting against Jace.
The theory here is that you come in, you press the attack, and then you have ultimate available. And you had enough mana for the full rotation, and you're like, well, Jace has nowhere to run to. I'm going to cull it. Unfortunately, Jace runs to you as, what kills are happening?
Chungo's dead, Cuz not able to go down here as Pawn looking for that one. Is going to get the knock up, but will not continue as Last Breath was used in the previous fight.
We missed the initial burst, but you can look at the ultimate timers to know roughly what happened there. People pressed R, and it worked out very nicely for Kingzone, and Pawn's 2-0 again, 2 games in a row.
He's having a grand old time, having Cuz on his Gragas and himself on the Yasuo, just able to style a bit here on Jinair. As Tana is the hope in the top side for Jinair. We'll see if he can actually make this happen as the carry in this game.
I'm struck by the fact that, Pawn is right now, one of our veteran players, right? This guy is a world champion 5 years ago. He's been around the scene for a long time. He's been on a lot of high-profile teams. I feel like I ascribe more personality to him than I'm actually aware of. I haven't really... He's one of the players who hasn't had like lots and lots of interviews like Deft and other players, so... In my head, he's someone who's going to, in a future game, be like, remember how good my Yasuo was against Jin Air? Lock it in, coach. You know, overrating his performance against a Jin Air team. And yet, I realize that I have no basis for that whatsoever. I want to know more about Pawn. He is someone who I feel linked to. Do you know why, Valdez?
Why is that?
He and I were born on the same day, 10 years apart.
That is a weird kind of connection that you have.
I'm literally 10 years older than Pawn.
Literally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Effectively is usually the correct word when people say literally. I'm literally 10 years older.
There you go. I don't know who I'm 10 years older than. It would have to be someone born in 2001. We do have a couple of players, right?
I believe so.
Senin.
Yeah, you're right. Senin would probably be one of the closer ones.
Probably Kanavi is as well.
He was December.
Okay, we're trying again, but Tungo has his flash this time, but Cask for flash. You'll always take that trade at the marketplace.
By the way, it makes me sound super old to be 10 years older than a player that's played for this long. He's 22, so I'm 32. I'm not 38 or something. Just being clear.
Yeah. Just have to clarify.
As I said, struck by my own mortality.
I mean, you're probably not even halfway through, so you got some time left.
Your language choice there is noted. You know when you play a Telltale or one of those games and it's like, X will remember this? Papa will remember this.
You know, just saying.
I don't have a lot of time for you recently after the whole Zach support fiasco.
We won that game.
We won the game when I played Orianna.
That's true.
No one knows that.
Everybody only remembers the ultimate. Not all of your other plays where you were super fed carrying
us.
I
hard carried that game.
The mid difference was gigantic in that game. Not in that play.
You're only as good as your YouTube clip that people saw.
Of course. Everybody will remember my first blood on this on the Zach support. Actually, I think I gave that one to you, but then stole the next kill. As you duly noted, very angrily, I remember, as well.
I'm clear in comms, what can I say? We're being less clear about the state of this game. Inferno Drake was picked up by Kingzone as the fail gank happened top side. Pawn is still, like we mentioned, nicely ahead, and for at least the start, he's going to go Static Shiv. I'm willing to really want to just ignore that and focus on his second item. I hope he just goes Infinity Edge. It's probably categorically wrong, but I want to see it. We got the Medjais at 1 stack. Why not?
I mean, you can tell that a bunch of the vision already around the mid lane has been cleared out. We're just counting down the seconds until the next Cask last breath is going to happen in this game. As the Kennen with no flash seems like the obvious choice, but both Cuz and Pawn are quite scary in this game.
Risky to take the Rift Herald when you don't have priority top side, and we're also in a meta where everyone puts down early wards now, post 10 minutes. No sneaking available anymore.
I think he's on vision with that control ward. It's going to be spotted by Tana. But everybody on Jin Air is coming in here. They are committing to an early game play.
Only Deft isn't there. We got 9 members around Rift Herald at 11 minutes.
Well, they caught Chungo, and he gets blocked away. No Devour is able to come in, but Pawn is going to be traded. Tucson going to get hit by the piercing arrow there by the Varus. Takes a hell of a lot of damage from the poke of Jin Air, but Shelly is going to refresh here. We'll see if Kingzone want to return and try to challenge this one. Looks like Cuz is thinking about it, but probably will not go for it.
You almost never see team fights before turret plating has even gone down, and it became super hard to evaluate. Bit of a crapshoot, Valdez, because no one has their items, so you don't really know where base damages are. Kennen ult does no damage early in the game onto a team because you don't have enough bolts to do damage to multiple members, really. So because of that, Chongo doesn't blow anyone up, but the reverse was true for Kingzone as well. They didn't have a lot of damage either. And in the resting state, Kingzone pushing a mid lane wave, but we do see Rift Herald and top lane turret through the turret plates go to Jace, and this Jace is flexing. He's 2-0-0 and has all the turret plates.
Sneaking around here, it's going to be up to Malrong to get that one off, but Rascal this time around is able to sniff that one out and won't get caught.
And it was a shutdown on the Jace, for the Jace on Yasuo as well, because Yasuo was with a bounty. 450 gold bounty. Watch the replay and just think about what these champions usually represent and what they actually do. It's 300 AoE damage from Kenneth or more. Yasuo is taking every R. Pawn just presses R and believes. The Pawn Bless emote is really happening here because he's just going in. But too early for that one. Team disconnected. End result is a bit of an even trade, but gold stacked squarely on the Jace, who has a lot of flat man.
Pawn just has a thing for ulting supports as the game goes along, it seems. He didn't like Nova, doesn't like Kellen, as he's going in on any kind of last breath in this game. As game is surprisingly even. Kingzone, they just have that Infernal, but with the Rift Herald and that First Blood turret up in the top side, a lot of gold is able to be gotten here by the top lane specifically, as Tana is over 2,000 gold ahead of Rascal.
Note what that means. There is a 100 gold lead, and the top difference is 2,200. That means if anything happens and Jace is not there, they're actually 2,000 gold behind. That's the crazy thing, is that all their gold is around this man. That's why you see Tana, who already has the turret down. They should just honestly buddy system behind him. It's confirmed by the good old overlay we have. Shout out to Riot this week for hastily listening to our feedback. We called out for this one after watching a bit of Challenges, you and I, Valdez, and we get nice information here. A balanced teamfight comp has balanced gold, but Jace got all the gold for Jin Air.
I believe they even calculated that one plating in the mid lane that Kingzone was not nearby to get. It went down, but they didn't count it in the gold calculation because nobody was near enough to actually pick it up. So, observers on point. Like to believe as Rift Herald comes in. Poor Shelly doesn't get any plates, doesn't get much at all. Just a bit of damage here in the mid lane.
It's all about Gragas now for Jin Air. It's that awkward spot where teamfight-wise, Kingzone have a lot of teamfight tools. Jin Air have poke around their Jace, but if the cast comes in, it could be a problem.
Windwall's a good ability against Jace, as you guys can see.
Pull down nice and long, though, in the early game. So for now, Kingzone will back away, back to the mid. Will Jin Air be drawn to the ARAM, or will they start the Mountain Drake?
Oh boy, Marong catches the Lucian. Gonna get over the wall here as, okay, we're flashing on in for that one. Tana gonna be able to dunk him. As Kellen kind of unnecessary on the flash, but they get the kill regardless, and now it's a 5-on-4.
And Kingzone are in two minds. Are they pressing their go buttons, or are they pulling back? They don't know where Chongo is, so understandably, they're concerned.
Now we're doing the big damages as Tana is in here, but they are going to be able to turn on to Chungo, who's died for the 4th time in this game. But the Mountain Drake will go the way of Jin Air. And only fun Drakes in this game, as another Infernal is up next.
Kingzone smelled a rat, and they killed the cannons. So that's very on brand for that champion. Goes down 0-4-0. Again, it was more about the looming threat there, but Kingzone problem solved it well. Unfortunately, they still have to give up the Drake, though. So Jin Air pick up a Drake and mid lane turret. And how about some more gold for this fighter for the future in Jace?
He's so fed right now. This is ridiculous, the amount of gold this guy must have.
But let's once again talk about an analytical point we've talked about ever since the Urgot change, as we look over what was a very extended kill onto the Lucian. My question is, if this is a 4-0 Urgot, they can do a lot, right? If this Urgot is massively far ahead, you're like, all right, team fight, get the wards down, yep, go into lane, you've got solo kill potential. It's a really fed Jace on a team who's struggled to actually close out games, hasn't been in that situation very much. It's much harder to actually spread a lead with Jace, so can they continue to find ways to always trade up with Jace? Because if Jace is just pushing in minions that are being picked up by a Sivir, if he's not actually in a siege scenario or with kill potential, there's a chance that elsewhere, the fact that the game's basically in parity, Kingzone catch up, and then at some point, Sivir accidentally kills Jace with some bouncing blades. So that's the issue here. So let's watch to see how Jin Air use a chess piece that for now, and we're being honest, if Jace is there, other people should run away. This guy is ultra fed.
Picked up his Duskblade casually before 17 minutes, has that lethality. He's going to be just bursting people that are squishy for half their health already.
And this is not a Youmuu's Black Cleaver, I'm trying to be balanced, Jace. No. This is a I murder people, Jace. This is the Jace of your nightmares. So because of that, Jace ain't doing much. Kingzone's really happy. And for now, at least, Jace hasn't got a lane opponent in the bot.
Nobody wants to go up against him. Rascal's like, please keep me safe, team. But Kingzone still have this 1-2 punch of Gragas, and we're going for it again. I guess we're killing the rat once again. Can they get the kill, though, as that's a lot of damage. Pawn, what is going on? Bit of disrespect as the damage is not enough, and Chungo is able to outplay them.
That's when the clock strikes 11. The ult needs some respect, and they look for the lazy 5th kill. It isn't honestly much of gold anyway, and they get punished for it. Kingzone, they need to actually show up to this series. They got to sleepwalk through game number 1, but Jin Air have a lot more going on here, and now even the Kennet has more gold than you might expect.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of the flight was, you know, very smooth sailing. You could take a nice nap. It's very easy to fly on those planes, but then all of a sudden some turbulence hits, and you get a very nervous Kingzone, it looks like, as, wow, okay, depths. Calm, cool, and collected this guy is.
Definitely.
I thought we were going to replay that immediately.
He's a very courageous alpaca. As we watch the replay, notice no visit to the minion wave here. It was always going to be a true turret dive, but they don't respect the fact that Zonia's is done and he's level 11. You got plenty of bolts to kill one person on the turret. Bit lazy as more fighting's happening.
Seems like they pressed their buttons on another guy. This time it was a Varus that had his Tom cancel a little bit too far away.
It's a really cool combo when you see it happen, but it's also like, everyone's like, wow, what a play, Yasuo. And it's like, well, he pressed R, and it did a lot of damage. So if you don't see it, you can definitely...
Hey, some of our viewers have trouble pressing the R key, Papa. Don't, you know, don't exclude those guys.
Which champion do you think in solo queue should press R way more, but doesn't press R as much? Is there any champion who should be using their R button more?
That's a really weird question.
It is, but we've got time for really weird questions. I feel like there are definitely some champions who have like an initiation R that never initiate, and you're like, come on, we have this champion, why are we not initiating?
Maybe solo queue Sejuani's that sit back a little bit too much. Because in pro play, I mean, the cooldown is surprisingly low. To the point where it's like people in solo queue are just waiting for the perfect moments, but sometimes you just get it back really fast and you can go for some of those other plays.
I feel like my solo queue Sonas will never flash ult ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they're in the back line pressing W, and I'm like, guy, you got the ult. Like, that's the reason this champion was broken in 2010, because people are like, you can't have a heal and an initiation ult. It's overpowered.
Yeah.
And it kind of was in 2010. But now we're in 2019, 9 years later, and I love me some Sona, but I don't know if overpowered is the right word.
As, again, we're going to find Balrog this time. Turns out there's a lot of squishy targets, 4 of them, on the side of Jin Air, and if Tom Kench isn't there, you're dead.
Did I miss the patch note where Gragas got the Rek'Sai treatment and Cast can only hit one person? Because it does feel that way in this game.
It's, kind of looks targeted here from Cuz. Knows how to press his R, that's for sure.
All right, wake me up when we see a AoE Gragas ultimate.
All right.
I'm going to have a little of a papa nap over here. I'm 10 years older than Colin. I need my naps.
You're getting up there in esports age.
I feel like my broadcast age from now on should be 10 years older than Colin, because it sounds so old. As we see, another excellent single target ultimate. Malrong, no count.
Chris, Papa Smithy, 10 years older than Pawn, likes Pizza Hut Smith.
It's snappy. It can fit on a business card, so I can get behind it. All right, Tana, you are still the god of damage. You have all of the Dirks. He is 3 Dirks into this build.
So many Dirks! That's what Papa says when you...
Shout out to Dirk, one of the head producers over at Riot EU. Great stuff with the LEC. He's the only Dirk I know. Dirk, a much more common name in Europe. So.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dirk. Wait, there is Dirk Kuyt, the striker for Liverpool and Feyenoord. There's another Dirk. I got 2 Dirks. Can I name a 3rd Dirk? I don't think I can. Oh, Dirk Nanas, a cricket player. There you go. I named 3 Dirks, and he's got 3 Dirks. This is Papa Smithy's sports knowledge shining through.
Okay. There are no League of Legends players that have the name Dirk, right? That would be too good.
No, we have no Dirks.
Okay.
Sadly. But 3 in this game. 2 more than the Shens we allow these days.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of Dirks. As it's Tucson's turn to find someone. Can we press our R? Yes, we can. As maybe this time Balrog is going to get away with the flash.
I don't think they can trademark Yes We Can for their Gragas Yasuo trademark duo. I think someone else said it first. Was that... Who was that? Was that Kilios or...
Might have been Quick Shot, I think, in one of those tournaments, you know.
I'm remembering it now. It was like World Finals. It was a big event. It was an inauguration of something. I think it was Yes We Can.
It was said in that kind of intonation, too.
That's
Yes,
how it goes, right?
We can.
Yeah. Well, how else would you say it? It's not yes, can we?
No, that's true. Can we? Yes.
That's not a question anymore. You're answering your own questions. Too presumptive. It's kind of like getting a one-stack Medjai.
Isn't yes, we can kind of the same thing there? Like, you're stating that we can.
You guys are wondering why the recall happened there was an overshield, so that's why the recall wasn't cancelled. No need for a remake. Zooming in on this particular game for just a half second before we start talking about if we can, probably. Tucson getting Baron control.
He got another Medjai's, by the way. This time 8 stacks. Didn't catch when he bought that one. Could have been another 1-stacker.
In the future, if there's a chance he's playing an AP Gragas or an AP jungler, yes, he can buy a Medjai.
Yes, he can. That doesn't mean yes, we can, and that you should in your solo queue games. I highly do not recommend it.
I mean, if you're Cuz, it's probably fine. He's one of the best solo queue players no one talks about.
Yeah.
Was rank 1 many times before he made his eventual debut and Royal Roaded on Longshu. Kind of lost in that discussion there. Royal Roading is definitely a rare thing. Zooming in with the double Infernal. We haven't mentioned Jace's name apart from laughing at how many Dirks he has, and that means that he hasn't been actually growing a lead. He's just laning against Lucian and pushing in minions to him, and this is the inevitability of the game plan of JAG kind of falling apart.
I love when they zoom out really far. The box on the minimap gets really large. I'm a big fan. Looks kind of cool. Third Infernal's coming up, by the way. 50 seconds. As maybe Tana's just going to try to snipe it himself.
If not, get your control wards down and poke with your powered Jace is how they want to do it. They do have 3 players with control wards in their inventories, couple for the Varus. They got good pick CC, they got a cannon to find a flank. Things can happen here. One of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of mid lane cannon is you take Ignite for lane control and then you can't teleport flanks. So you don't get the home guard buff, and you have Lightning Rush, you're a fast rat, but you're not fast enough most of the time. So Unsealed Spellbook mid lane cannon with Ignite, maybe, but it's not what we're seeing here. So this might be the most honest cannon we've had in a long time.
Well, he's got a cool skin, at least, flying around. As Kingzone just waiting to press those R's and see who they catch next. But you can see that Kellen, this time around, is looking to be in position. As the hook nearly going to hit there. Stitch even taking a bunch of damage from Happy Gragas bowling.
Well, you notice Kingzone are playing very methodically for that kind of the first time this series. They are not leaving any flanks open. They can be attended to. Even flashing over the Raptor pit has been warded, so they are very well aware. Now, they don't see the cannon still. They know where he's coming from because they have vision everywhere else, so he has to be coming from the bottom of the screen. And that's why, you watch how they're kiting, they're well aware.
Yeah, Pawn gonna spot him out here too. He's gonna cover that flank. The cast comes in, it's perfect, knocks all 4 people away. And the third Infernal Drake goes the way of Kingzone.
That was a really good Twitch spell shield from Def. That was actually really hard to do. Shout out to Def there, over terrain. Twitching the spell shield. Nice little mechanical moment. We got the confirmation, by the way, that Pawn doesn't know that you can actually ult on multiple targets. He only goes to the single target ones. That hit multiple people. I'm only trolling, by the way. That was a very nice disengage pass. Kingzone. Def walks up, and he just wants to kill.
He's feeling good after that last play, you'd have to imagine. Chungo trying to come in here and zone them out. Will be able to do so, but now he's going to die. As Cuz, he wants the kill to get as many stacks as possible.
That's right. He stacks away, and now they're walking away for a Baron. Very hard for JAG to do anything about this one. Baron against Jace, the natural counter. And this should be Baron, Kingzone DragonX.
Cuz building up the AP, he deserves the blue buff himself. Only other person maybe is Rascal at this point, but just going to take that one alongside of the Baron, which Spawn does snipe away, and take another look at Def just running straight at Stitch and saying, hey man, you can't just run at me.
And then Chongo has to be honest, Kennen. It doesn't work. You can't be honest, Kennen. If you run out with your ultimate, you're just going to die or get kited. In this case, he dies. Very hard to make mid lane Kennen work. Again, shout out to Hai, great Kennen player. In the mid lane, Malrong's fallen back to Knight's Vow, but I guess you're putting on Varus. And honestly, Varus is pretty strong, all things considered. Root is putting in some nice Varus items. He did well in lane, but that's what you pick Varus for. But the threat level of Varus is kind of inversely proportional to whether he gets hit by a cask. And they're going to try and hit Rascal with a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, baiting him to run to the left side so that Tana can pick up the kill here. See if they get the kill to Tana. No, Malrong. He's, he's angry after this game. He wants to kill himself.
Deft is frustrated that the minion won't walk closer, so he can't actually auto-attack the turret. Waiting for the rest of the minions to come in, because
they're going to find the Kennen once again. And even though a couple of stuns come in, he's got no health. As Tom Kent was busy killing Lucian, was not in position, so the push comes in, and Kingzone don't want to waste any more time with Triple Infernal. I can't really blame them as Malrong tries to get in and gets played up. Can't do anything, even though he flashes for that one. As style on them are Kingzone. Not going to end the game just yet.
I'm glad you caught that play from Tucson. Another next level play from a bot laner. This time it's Tucson. Very nicely done there. The ones onto Zac, they're a lot easier. The ones onto Lee Sin, that blind monk moves really fast. So nicely done from Tucson on that little micro play. Tana, he hasn't died, so they really want to kill him.
Yeah, Def could use some gold as, he had his flash. So Tana going to be fine, gets away, and still has a bounty.
I mean, look at his items. He's still a god in a 1v1.
Still building Dirks.
Yep.
Has another one.
Well, he went Black Cleaver, so it's still the same Dirk from before. We only need to name 3 Dirks. There's no other Dirks in the world.
Dirk, Dirk. Is that how you name them all?
I try not to. As Malrong gets the kill, as Def just had to wait until Kaz got bored. And the single, oh no, it was an AoE ultimate, but actually the last one wasn't on stage.
Yeah, and they get the kill. That's what happened.
We misidentified Stitch earlier, it wasn't Root. It is Stitch in game number 2. We haven't really looked at the Varus at all, so that's why we made that one. So sorry for the snafu there. We're loving seeing Stitch in the lineup, even if he and Tana have kind of watched this game slip away.
Definitely kind of feels bad for them, as they haven't been making too many mistakes at all, but the game has slowly slipped away from their fingers.
Question to ask you, Valdez. 25 stacks or no 25 stacks for Kaz? He's at 14 at the moment.
I'd say probably the next team fight ends it, so unless he gets multiple kills, probably not 25 this game.
Well, a kill and 4 assists would be 12, so he'd be 25.
Okay. I guess there's a chance. They do get all 5.
Tucson
oh boy.
Dead.
Tucson, what's up, buddy? As he's going to get knocked down by the Varus. Stitch desperately trying to carry this one.
This is what happens when the game has largely been decided by other lanes, and you forget that Varus and Jace have their items. Pawn gets the camera centering there.
Rascal hit the plans so that they couldn't get over the wall.
Hey, we don't know what's happening in comms. Maybe that was the right move, Valdez.
Pawn's like, F this, I'm backing. I'm not going to help you with this, Drake.
What does the F stand for?
Fork.
What does that got to do with backing?
That's just the way it is. Papa Smithy.
Oh, it's a reference to forking in the road.
Yeah.
I got it.
He took the fork less traveled, right?
There's a Soviet-Russia joke here somewhere as well. Road forks you.
I see.
I believe is how that one goes. But no more French for this broadcast. Team Recall doing their best Avengers Assemble. At this point, Tana doesn't want to be in the Avengers. He's Hawkeye in one of those movies. And we just see if Jinner can find anything representing an honest fight. And can Chongo find level 16 and 5 people in Slicing Maelstrom?
It's a good question. I mean, you never know. They get the perfect team fight here. Def not going to be able to stop that one with the spell shield. But Balrog not going to be taking that one-way trip anytime soon. So another inhibitor will go down, and with the Mountain Drake taken here by Kingzone with Triple Infernal, you got to know that their what's it called? Their Barons are super fast.
Are you in tune with the Korean observers? If you are, I want you to send some mind signals out there. Yes, this is what I wanted to show you. It's 635 AP, Death Cap, Medjai's, Triple Infernal, Gragas. This guy is another one of those Shinigamis that we were talking about yesterday, those Death Reapers. This is some Season 1 stuff. Shushay somewhere should definitely get in this stream and watch this.
Yeah.
He is going to do insane damage.
And it's 4 squishies, too. And Kellen.
Where's he at? Come on, Gragas. Pop that Predator and press your R.
Well, here he is. Let's see who he's going to find. Maybe it's going to be Malrong. Waiting for the Yasuo. Here comes Def with his own ultimate. Nice dodge by Malrong not to get death sentence there. As the Baron is alive and well for now, the lanes are pushing. You have to imagine Kingzone will go for that objective soon.
Kind of want this game to extend for the 1000 AP one-shot Gragas. Then I can just clip it up and put it on YouTube with a nice title.
Yeah.
You won't believe how much damage this Gragas did in pro play.
9.5 crazy build?
Well, the Baron existed. You wouldn't know it. The eulogy would have been cut short if it was the funeral for that particular Baron buff. And now we watch Cuz, who's going to have more ability power. It's a almost 40-minute Baron. We want this game to go 40 minutes, 40-minute Baron take, and some more needlessly large rods. Let's do it.
Unless the Winions end the game before we can get there. There's only one Nexus turret right now, and it's the one lane in the bottom side pushing into that one. Kingzone going to be relatively honest as Rascal, oh boy, gonna be kicked and killed, and Kingzone don't seem to care. They're like, okay, let's turn around. Maybe we can fight this one. They're being sandwiched to a certain effect here.
I've decided that Hard Luck Rascal needs to become a meme, like Bad Luck Charlie Brown style.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of Kingzone are having a day out, and Rascal's just getting bullied, and Kingzone don't seem to be batting an eyelid.
Get the 2-0 against Zinair, but die like 4 times somehow. As we're waiting for it, he's level 16, does a bit of damage, but the play is there, and so is the cast. He's gonna be able to just dunk him after that Zhonya's. As Kingzone not wasting any more time, here comes Cuz around the bend. There's the knock-up and the huge damage.
Triple kill!
As he gets it, triple kill goes
Penta.
to the Cuz.
Where's the Penta?
He's looking for that 25 stacks. Does he already have it?
Yes, he does.
With the 12. Cuz making that Medjai's work for him. The 2-0 is going to work for Kingzone here as they shut down Zinair very easily.
By the end, the biggest question was 25 stacks or no, 1000 AP or no. We got to zoom in on Cuz, who's going to have a nice double MVP, you would imagine. Sometimes you know the camera's on you after a game like that. Very obvious, as the rest of Kingzone bar Rascal had a day out.
Pon's like, yeah, I pressed my R button and I built some items, and we won. Feels good, man. As the mid lane Kennen comes out again, and hopefully will be shelved again for a bit here, as it found 0 luck up against that kind of combination of champions.
And now if it's the LCK, why not Gragas will always be our question for both Cuz and Score. They are our gods of Gragas, and if we're going on what you've done lately...
I saw Ashley.
Oh, Ashley
she was on camera.
Favorite son, or favorite daughter, I should say, of the English broadcast. All right, you're only as good as your most recent performance. I'm going to say it right now. Is Cuz the best Gragas in the LCK right now?
Right now are very important words for sure. Everybody's
Neon comes
happy
out,
here.
and Smiling Neon is still a thing.
Yeah.
If Kingzone had Twitch emotes, Smiling Neon would be a slam dunk.
Like,
Always
I'm
having a
never gonna
great
play.
time. Jinair, they tried 10 players, unfortunately. From those 10 players, I guess Tana comes out with his reputation in hands. He had a really good game. On the Jace here, first pick Jace, they could have a macro or draft around it, might actually be a viable strategy. Neon's smiling, Kingzone fans are smiling. All they can do is win 2-0 to try to firm their spot in the top 5, and today they are categorically successful.
It's a big win. They don't have the hardest schedule left over, so I feel like on paper, in my mind, I'm already beginning to pencil Kingzone in for the playoffs. Now, it's not 100%. Don't take that to mean they've already made it, but they certainly look strong up against a lot of the teams here in the LCK, and adding that 2-0 to their scoreboard, it's got to feel really good with the playoffs on the line. We'll see what'll happen in our next matchup as well, Dom1 versus Hama Life. A couple of the other teams that are fighting to make it into playoffs here for this season.
And I wonder if this result relegates Jin Air, or at least puts them into relegation. We're running out of games for Jin Air. Around them, it's what? 4 wins is the minimum, I believe, so far. I think KT are on 4 wins, it could be 3. The alpaca, that's a very romantic alpaca, it looks like. I couldn't tell if that's a straw or actually a rose, kind of hard to tell on the sign. I'm going to call it romantic alpaca. We had a long alpaca that one time, so I'm all for different types of alpaca. We didn't mention the alpaca today, and let's talk about some alpaca business. The alpaca's in a quest to be MVP, and I don't believe the alpaca will find any MVP votes in this 2-0.
True. Well, I mean, he's got to balance it out after Chovy went 0-2 against Gen G and wasn't able to pick up any of the MVPs there. It's only fair as, well, Chungo knew he was dead here, and that was only the beginning of his pain in this series.
I believe no AD carry has ever been MVP of the LCK, so I'm kind of biased.
Really?
I was biased towards Tucson winning in spring season last year, wasn't able to pick it up. Biased towards an AD carry winning because it's been a top laner's award and a mid laner's award for the longest time. Here are some cool combos. Gragas definitely had a day out.
Cuz had a day out. You can tell that he doesn't let up even against some of the weaker teams here in LCK. His casts were things of beauty, even if Pawn didn't always responsibly respond to them.
His casts were better than our casts, so we'll give him that. He was on point with his Gragas. Rascal died a lot. It was kind of funny because it was a game where you wanted to find some humor in because the result didn't really feel in doubt. Comfortable victory for Jin Air. Even those max range EQs hitting for your boy Tana.
One moment here where Pawn went too far, no minions. Chungo with a level 11, and the Zhonya's completed. Did eventually die, of course.
Is it going to be a highlight that doesn't have Kennen or Lucian in it?
Well, this is also a Kennen low light, I suppose you can say. Just trying to save his teammates, not really his fault.
He died a lot of times this game. I think it would be 9 maybe by the end. I wasn't counting after 7.
7 or 8.
It was 7, and then there was definitely at least one more. So we'll say 8. Could have been 9.
Rascal died again. In other news,
the boy who cried wolf came out on that one. Here's the 8th death, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll call it 8 deaths for the Lightning Rat, maybe shelving the mid lane Kennen. Here's a good move for Jin Air Greenwings. Chongo didn't play Zed, so he gave up.
We did. So the triple kill came in. He gets the 12 extra stacks, and, well, there was that little blip on the map, as you can see, where it comes in. But take a look at the damage here from Gragas, outdoing everyone, including Pawn, who surprisingly did barely anything in this game.
Has there ever been a pro game since the Gragas changes where Gragas outdamaged a Sivir and a Varus? Varus used to be the god of DPM next to Ezreal and Jace.
And a Jace.
We had 3 champions here who can do sick DPM. And Gragas like, well, he didn't say hold my beer. He was sharing his beer with other people.
He was buying shots for the whole crew.
He was.
Lots of casks in that game.
Is Cuz old enough to drink in Korea? He might not be, actually. No, he's 19 in Korea.
19 is the age,
which
so
is 18.
I think he is. 100% kill participation, by the way. Not easy to pull off.
100% first blood participation recently. 100% MVP of this game. It would be insane for him not to win it. This is what having a day out and flexing looks like. But this is, unfortunately, more Cuz against lower teams than Cuz against upper teams. And recreating that performance, one thing to say, I can do this. A lot of the remaining opponents aren't of the same level as Kingzone.
Yeah.
Play it forward in the wildcard match or the best of 5 stage, and then the reputation of Cuz will go up.
That's true. He's got to show up when it matters most. I mean, this matters to get the 2-0 so that they can make it into playoffs, but you got to perform there, and he's got to perform for us in a little interview. Excited to see what he's going to say. It's going to be him alone as well, so it'll be Cuz and Cuz, just like it was Khan and Khan yesterday.
Well, Papa's happy to hear from Cuz. We've got the family time going on here. We're family guys out here, so we're going to have fun on this final interview, and then it's going to be one of those longer breaks. It's currently 6:40 p.m. Korean Standard Time, 8 p.m. for our second series, so join us for the rollout and then a second series.
네,
Hand it over to Ji-sun for the
가져갔습니다. 이제 플레이오프
Thank you very much,
진출권에
guys.
안정권에
This is
들어왔다고
Ji-sun with
봐도
the
되겠는데요.
interview translation,
단독
and Kingzone
MVP입니다.
picked another MVP,
안녕하세요.
another victory, and Cuz is another solo MVP of today's series.
야, 콘 선수 요즘 정말 기량이
Cuz,
대단합니다.
your performance
아니,
is on
무슨
point.
일이 있었나 싶을
What happened to
정도로
you?
요즘 단독 MVP
You
싹쓸이하고
evolved so
계시고
much.
벌써 MVP 포인트
You were
500점이에요.
picking up all the MVPs recently. You have stacked up to 500 points. How do you rate your performance recently?
이제 최근 들어서 좀 많이
Nowadays,
올라왔다고 생각했는데
I think my performance is getting better and better, and I am able to go with some of the aggressive jungle picks.
관심 받았던 것 같아요.
So that's why I'm getting more attention from the fans.
선택하고 계신 것 같습니다. 그러면서 와, 바텀은 물론이고요. 뭐 미드도
So,
편하고 탑도 편하고
thanks to you, all the laners was having very easy game.
소감 어떠신지 여쭤볼게요.
So how was the series as a
일단
jungler?
오늘 또 경기 깔끔하게 이긴 것
I
같아서
think it
기분
was
좋고
a
이제
clean game. It's really nice.
데이
And yesterday was the White Valentine's Day, so Kingzone had a bit of an event for the fans. So this is for you, Mina.
팬분들 죄송해요. 제가
I'm sorry,
받아왔는데
fans, that I got the candy
팬분들도
from
받으실
him.
수 있겠죠?
Do you have it also for the fans? Yes, we have a fan meet and greet time after this game, so we have plenty of candies for them. So you guys played Yasuo and Draga's composition for 2 games in a row.
2세트에서는 그래도 좋은 모습 많이 보여주셨어요. 폰 선수와 함께
So how's your
든든한가요?
teamwork with Pawn with the Yasuo Draga's
많이
composition?
해갖고 또
We
하면
practice
항상
it a lot,
이겨서
and we have a high win
빅커브
rate.
나서 질 거라는 생각은
So
별로 안 들었어요.
whenever we lock it in, we have the confidence to win every game.
많이 보여주셨습니다. 1세트에는 솔킬 장면도 나왔죠.
Game 1, you
그
solo
장면
killed
함께
Xin Zhao,
만나볼게요.
so let's go through this replay together.
이때 와드를 정말
You had a very early ward over
보셨었어요.
there.
이때 이제 강희 형이 자꾸리 와드 해놔가지고
Well, Rascal placed a
더 쉽게 잡았던
ward
것
there, so it was
네,
easy for me to make that kill.
시즈 선수의 동선에 대해서 굉장히 생각이 많았던 것 같은데요.
I think you
처음부터
were thinking a
설계가
lot
어떻게
about
됐는지
Siege
궁금하네요.
jungle path. So how did you plan that
아무래도 저희 팀이
out?
라인 주도권이 다 있었기 때문에
All of our
제가 가는
laners
곳이
had a lot of laning
웬만하면
priority,
가가지고
so
제
wherever I go, I
제가
was
가고 싶은 데로
able to make out some points.
선수의 마음을
So
따라서
I was feeling a bit
움직이셨고요.
comfortable and also
그리고
confident.
1, 2세트 다 메자이를 올리시더라고요.
And you built
와, 자신감이
Magi in both
대단하다 이런
games
생각을
that
했는데
kind of reflected
도저히
your
죽을
confidence.
자신이 없었던 건가요?
Are you sure that you're not gonna die?
일단 그라스만 하면 죽을 자신이 없고요.
Whenever I play
그리고
Gragas,
또
I have
평소
zero confidence to
솔랭에서도
die.
자주
Even in the solo
메자이를
queue,
봐서
I buy
이번에
Magi a
가겠어요.
lot.
네, 정말 멋진 모습 많이 보여주셨습니다. 1, 2세트 뱀픽이 이제
And speaking of
탑은
the
여기 안
draft,
계시지만 그 라스칼 선수의 픽에 대해서 좀
Rascal actually
궁금해요.
played Lissandra in top
리산이랑
lane.
루시안이
And also Lucian.
탑으로 갈 줄은 몰랐거든요. 네, 그런데 미리
It's more
탑으로
like an
계획하고
unexpected
뽑으셨던
pick.
건가요? 아니면
Was it
진행을 하다
planned
보니까
beforehand,
올려보내는 게
or
낫다고
was that the
판단하신
result
건가요?
저희가 이제
during
픽을
the
뽑아놓고
champion
진행하다
champion
보니까
select?
이제 이거를 탑으로 바꾸면 더
Well,
좋은
during the
상황이
champion
나오겠다
select, we
싶어서
thought
이제
that if we make it a
픽을
flex
탑으로
pick, we
보냈던
can
것
be
같아요.
in a better
네.
situation, and that's
사실
why Rascal
리산을 라스칼
played
선수만
those two
스프링의
champions.
탑으로 활용을 했는데 이렇게 다른 팀들이
Rascal
좀
was the
활용하지
only
않는
player
팁에 대해서
playing
라스칼
Lissandra
선수가
in the
부담
top
가시는 편은
lane.
아닌가요?
Does he feel any pressure about it?
탑리산이 아무래도 솔랭에서는 그래도
Well,
많이 나오는
Lissandra
픽이라서
top lane,
이게 그렇게 부담을 가지진
it
않았을 것
does
같아요.
show up a lot in
네,
solo queues, so he doesn't feel any special pressure about that.
잘해주고 있는데요. 코즈 선수의 활약이 워낙
And
돋보이다
Pawn is also
보니까
performing so well, but you're
아직까지
taking
MVP
away
포인트가
all the
유일하게
MVPs
없습니다.
because you are performing
많이
even
아쉬워하지
better than
않으세요?
him. Does he feel sad
연석이
about
형이
that?
항상 MVP 못 받아서 많이
I think
아쉬워하는데
he is a bit sad.
아무래도
missing all the
야라가스는
MVPs.
그라스가 좀 더
But speaking of
주인공인
Yasuo
것 같아서
Graga's composition,
죄송합니다.
Graga is the main character,
네,
so I'm
알겠습니다.
sorry, Pawn.
오늘 그라가스 2세트에 또 19,000딜
Game
정말
2, you
엄청난
did
딜량을
a lot of damage on
보여주셨습니다.
your Gragas.
여기서 더 올라갈 수
19K.
있을까요 앞으로?
Can it
그라스
get higher?
하고 이제 게임 장기간 가도
Well,
장시간 가도
If
항상
we have a
딜량
long
1등
game with
할수 있을 것 같아요.
Gragas, I'm
예,
sure
더
that I can
기대해보도록
always be the
하겠습니다.
number one damage
자,
dealer in my
다음
team.
경기가 이제 젠지예요.
And your next
그리핀을
opponent will
잡고
be up against.
승승장구하고
Your next
있는
opponent will be
팀이기 때문에
Genji,
준비를
who
많이 하셔야 할 것
swept out
같은데요.
Griffin
어떻게
yesterday. How are you gonna prepare for that?
첫 1라운드 때도 2대1로 이겼기
Well,
때문에
in the first
좀
round
더
robin, it
준비도
was a
많이
2-1
하고
victory. So I think we have to prepare a
준비해서
lot.
꼭 상대에서 이기고
And I'm
싶어요.
gonna do my
네,
best
거기서
to
꼭
take them
이기실 수
down.
있을 것 같은 게 오늘 1, 2세트 모두 MVP 몰표 받으셨습니다.
Well,
축하드립니다.
You had all the votes on you for this MVP. So I think
와,
you can
이렇게
pull that up
1세트
next
다
time as well.
MVP가 몰표 나온 적은 지금 스프링 처음이라고 제가
And I
생각이
heard
드는데요.
that this is
그만큼
the first
커즈
time
선수가
happening
이제
in the
생존을
split, so
하고
which
있다,
kind
이런
of
생각을
implies
해볼
that
것
you are
같네요.
the
오늘
hard
사탕도
carry
정말
machine of your team,
감사드립니다.
and thank you very much for
잘
this candy.
먹겠습니다. 네, 커즈 선수 보내드릴게요.
So
인터뷰
this will be the end of
감사합니다.
the interview with Cuz, and I'm gonna pass it back to our Papa and
네,
Brandon.
킹존이 승리를 가져갔습니다. 중계선 연결할게요.
Thank you, G-Sun, for that. As we are here, I want one of those lollipops. Why didn't he give them to the English broadcasters? I'm sad, Papa.
I'm there with you on that one. Very cute interview with Cuz and Mina Kim.
Yeah.
And fun thing to talk about. It's against Genji. Genji coming off a win, so already like, oh, it could be close. But that's not actually what I focus on. It's Cuz versus Peanut. Old teammates.
Yeah.
Will he dare to build a Manor Medjais against Peanut? That's a different thing.
Yes, I think he will look forward to that if they get that far ahead. Again, you know, like...
That's a really boring if, Valdez.
No, but I mean, he was really only building it because he was dunking Jinair, you know? Like, does he build it every game? No, but in some of those games, he will certainly be going for that item.
Well, we're waiting for our lollipops. Jinair don't get any lollipops for this series either. Unfortunately, negative 26 now. Unable to close the gap on Griffin, who was trying to make it easier for them. Griffin losing, Jinair losing. The synergy is for the first time in a long while actually existing between those two, and Kingzone firmed themselves at outright fourth. Damwon are a series behind. If Hanwha Life beat Damwon, that's a 2-series buffer almost to catch up, so it's a really big series for Hanwha Life coming up.
Yeah, it's a huge one. This is it could be for all the marbles, right? These teams, they still have other series left over, but when you're going head-to-head, it just goes like this in one way or the other, especially when you're so close together. So excited to get into that one. It is going to be 1 full hour, 60 full minutes.
It will be.
And a lot of seconds before we do get into that next one. So hope you guys will join us for what should be a very fun series and might even go all 3 games for the next one. Damwon teaming up against Hanwha Life. We'll have to wait and see, Papa.
Fingers crossed, should be a close-knit one.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys in about an hour for that next series.